Pete Sampras is not happy. On Sunday in Cincinnati, he felt the world was against him. A frustrating final left the #1 player #2. Patrick Rafter is on your heels, Pete. So watch out. The race for #1 is off to New Haven. Second round match against Australian Hewitt, Sweet 17, who made a huge impact on the ATP Tour in January. Today he meets the highest ranked player he's ever faced. This is day 3 of our coverage of the Pilot Pen International in New Haven, Connecticut, everybody, at the Connecticut Tennis Center. Live coverage today of Pete Sampras taking on Leighton Hewitt. Pete Sampras, the top seed, now the #2 player in the world. Hello, a very warm greeting, everybody. I'm Cliff Drysdale. Some rain yesterday after we left you, and a couple of notes for you. First of all, Patrick McEnroe, our buddy, he went down last night to Sergi Bruguera. He played 3 sets. He said after that he hasn't played that well in a long time. He's got a wild card for the US Open. You'll be seeing more of Patrick McEnroe. You saw Gimelstob yesterday. He went down to Guillaume Raoult. Some other American results in the better news. Malavia, Washington, USA takes on Sebastian Leroux. Now he takes on Richard Krajicek after beating Leroux in straight sets. Jeff Tarango over Lionel Roux. He takes on Patrick Rafter tonight. You can see that on ESPN2, 12:30 Eastern. And Alex O'Brien, he was the winner as well. He takes on Gustavo Kuerten today. Now let me introduce you to Tom Gullickson. Tom, the Sampras story is an interesting one. Not just his quest for #1 at the end of the year, but how he lost to Rafter and how mad he was when it was all over on Sunday.
Well, Cliff, I was checking into the hotel on Sunday night, and Pete was in the lobby right after checking in, and he was still fuming over that call. He wasn't very happy at all.
But he started out this summer pretty well, obviously, at Wimbledon.
Yeah, he had a subpar year so far, and then at Wimbledon he righted the ship with his 5th Wimbledon title. There he's smiling at young Kim, his girlfriend. Here's match point, backhand volley out. #5 Wimbledon title for Pete Sampras, and a very, very happy moment for him. And last Sunday he was not very happy in Cincinnati against Rafter. Things started out well. He won the first set 6-1, but here on match point, the umpire overruled the call and gave Rafter the title, and Sampras is wondering why he's not #1.
If Sampras had won that match, he would have been #1, but it is Rios #1, Sampras and Rafter all battling for a place at the top of the tennis world. Now, Tom, what about young Leighton Hewitt of Australia? This guy wins in Adelaide this year, and he is young, he is good, and he's from Australia.
Yeah, he beat Andre Agassi there in Australia, which very few people have done this year. Youngest player ever to win an ATP Tour title, and he's fantastic. A lot of talent.
Look at the teen sensations. He is the best teen in the top 200 players in the world. We're going to take a break now, and as we do, let's check in on some results from yesterday, our live coverage of Sampras and Hewitt when we come back. University hosts the Pilot Pen International. We had a beautiful, very new facility, actually, the Connecticut Tennis Center in New Haven. It was built especially for tennis, and it has hosted some dramatic matches in the past. Andre Agassi, one of the previous winners of this championship, now in the top 10, as you saw as we were opening the show. This man is #2 in the world, though, but he was not very happy. In fact, he was irritated, and that's being kind, at the call on match point in Cincinnati. Tom Gullickson talked to Coach Paul Unicone about it.
Paul, what's Pete's mood like after the controversial ending to last week's final in Cincinnati against Rafter with that overrule?
Well, obviously he was a little disappointed, to say the least. It was a terrific match, but when it comes down to a situation like that, I think the losing doesn't get any easier. So I think he was a little bit irritable, and even for me, it'll be curious to see how he comes out today. Usually when Pete has an adversarial situation like that, he bounces back pretty strong. So I'm hoping for a strong performance this week, but I think irritable would be a good way to describe it.
A little irritable. I don't think that goes quite far enough. He was mad as a snake. 27 years old, Orlando, Florida is home for him now. And so many of the early years for him out in the hard courts out west. And so he knows about hard court tennis. And the statistics on him are fantastic. He has been #1 for 5 years, going for #6 this year. All that is well known. This is Pete Sampras as he takes on the relative unknown Leighton Hewitt of Australia live.
I guess you can tell his age, Cliff, by the way he wears his hat. All these young guys like to wear their hat on backward for some reason.
Some guys that are a little older do that as well, of course. His dad was a big football player. That's Australian rules. A game where they seem to kick the ball all the time. He lived close to a football park, and his father, Glyn, played for Richmond in Australia. So they have a deep history, that family. In fact, of course, Leighton obviously loves football as well. Let me just give you one quote here, because I love this one. This is from one of his entourage. If he could take a specky in the goal square in the grand final, I think he'd give away tennis tomorrow. I don't know what that means. Only Australians would understand that.
We need the fiery one up here to explain that to us.
30-15.
There's Sampras doing what he does so well. Bury that first serve in there. Good location, good disguise. See a lot of junior players now, Cliff, with their front toe up in the air. They think they're all going to serve like Pete Sampras by lifting their front toe up. There you see a typical Pete Sampras point, rallying with the backhand to try to set up his forehand. Went for that big forehand and just missed.
Does it work?
Well, it hasn't worked for me on the senior tour. I know that.
That's Sales, and it is deuce first game. I don't think, honestly, obviously, it's, you know, to predict that Sampras is going to win this as you watch this replay, that's no surprise. But I don't think Hewitt has got the firepower to match Sampras, especially on the serve. We'll see.
So solid on that volley. Great pickup on the half volley, Sampras there. Unbelievable hands below the net. He can still create winning opportunities for himself. Most guys have to play defense down there, and he can still create winning shots.
Said the same thing about Patrick Rafter, didn't he?
Absolutely. And that's
what is the best part of Sampras's game, Coach?
I think the best part of his game is obviously his second serve. Second serve is phenomenal. I mean, he's got so many good parts to his game, but nobody hits a second serve consistently as well as Pete does. And he can also play in so many different ways and beat you in a lot of different ways.
That one sails, and Hewitt has got a break point. And let me put it another way. If there is a weakness in his game, where would it be? Watch this one sail.
Okay, here's the forehand. Watch the preparation. Elbow up. He goes for the flat ball. Hits it a little bit late.
Break point.
He's missed 3 forehands already this game, and he really likes to go for that forehand flat. Sometimes he needs to cover it a little bit more and put a little more spin on it.
Sampras. This is live coverage. Second round of the men's singles. Leighton Hewitt, 17 years old, of Australia. 1 game to love against Sampras. Of serve against Sampras.
Which is a little surprising. You figure the kid would be nervous against the world's #2 player.
Leighton Hewitt got a wild card into the tournament and then took out Sargishin and Pete Sampras with a bye. And it's Bruguera and Pays. Bruguera beating Patrick McEnroe, Leander Pays from India, Kiefer and Woodford, Grant and Ivanisevic.
There's the big forehand down the line from Sampras, finding his range there. Umpire overruling a call on the baseline.
Arlo Pereira in the chair.
This will give young Hewitt 2 serves instead of 1.
Love 30. From Sampras, he mishit a few in the first game. Now he's got 3 break points.
Yeah, he really stepped up on that ball clip and took the ball on the rise a little bit more.
Sampras breaks back, and it is 1 game more. Over on the grandstand court, Gustavo Kuerten from Brazil, the number 11 seed, took out the colorful one, took out Alex O'Brien in the second round. O'Brien had a win in the first round. Remember how well he played here? Was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago, he won the tournament.
Won the tournament. O'Brien. He's out.
Oh, great running backhand by the young Australian.
All.
118 on the line. Sampras trying to find his range on that first serve.
And he found his range on that one. Tom, I asked you, I don't think you got around to answering it. What if he has a weakness, Sampras, in your opinion, as Davis Cup captain? What do you think?
Well, sometimes the backhand gets a little short, and then that gets him in trouble. And also sometimes on his forehand, he tends to go for some winning shots from way out of the court, and he hits the ball flat sometimes when he should be putting more spin on and playing a little safer. But obviously a great shot maker like Sampras really believes he can hit a winner from any part of the court at any time.
And for the most part, he usually can. This is game to Sampras, 2-1. We're on serve now. They traded breaks in the first 2 games of the match.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Tim Henman over Santo Padre, 6-2, 6-3. He is from Italy, so Tim Henman is through to the 3rd round. He will now take on Sanguinetti of Italy, and you will in all probability see him in the Davis Cup semifinals, Coach.
Yeah, it's Henman against the Italians so far here at New Haven. There's the early forehand. Look how he stepped up inside the court, took it on the rise, right down the line. Yeah, he's going to get a lot of looks, Cliff, today at breaking the Hewitt serve, because Hewitt doesn't have a lot on that serve.
Is he going to be able to, as he matures as a person, gets stronger and bigger, just 17, improve that serve, you think?
Absolutely. He's got a nice motion, and he only weighs 140, 45 pounds, ripping wet. So as he gets more mature and develops, I'm sure that serve will go from 109 up to about 118, 120 at least. That backhand volley really stuck it. Sampras making an aggressive play. Good forehand down the line coming in. Look at this backhand volley. Just snaps it off cross court. Good defensive slice by Sampras that time, forcing the young Australian to come forward, which he didn't really look that comfortable with.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Hewitt's only won 1 point on his serve so far. This is break point here for Sampras for a second break, leading 2-1.
Sampras giving Hewitt the short forehand.
Tom, you said during the break to me that Sampras didn't have that big a serve as a junior.
No, here Hewitt is coming in on that forehand approach, and Sampras misses the pass. No, Sampras was he was a baseliner when he was a junior player. He didn't have much of a serve, but he did develop it as he got bigger and stronger. So I think
two-handed too, wasn't it?
Two-handed backhand.
Break point Sampras. With a break, and he leads 3-1.
There, Pete showing some patience, just willing to wait the youngster out. Hewitt went for that winner down the line and just caught the tape.
No relation to Bob Hewitt, who was a great Australian player for a long time, along with Frew McMillan, one of the best doubles teams that ever played.
Yeah, we played him this year in the seniors at Wimbledon. He still got those magic hands that he had.
That's Bob Hewitt, right? Ace.
Right down the tee.
4 so far for Sampras, and this is only his 3rd serve game. Oh, that's a nice passing shot. It was going to be in. Sampras had to hit that one.
Another great move by Hewitt there. He showed a passing shot earlier in the backhand. Watch his running forehand. Gets around the outside edge of the ball and snaps it down the line. Sampras guesses right, but just can't get enough racket on it.
Dangerous try for the topspin lob. Slight mishit. Easy overhit for Sampras, 30-15.
Yeah, you won't see too many players getting a lot of lobs over the Sampras head. He moves so well. He jumps so high. From Hewitt there, he just picked his spot and hit his shot. Beautiful cross-court backhand winning passing shot.
As Sampras plays here, Rios plays at the RCA in Indianapolis, and if Sampras can get further in the tournament than Rios, he has a good chance at being #1 going into the US Open. But Patrick Rafter, if Sampras and Rios both falter here and Rafter were to win, he could be the top seed at the Open as #1 in the world.
There's a lot on the line this week. Hewitt seems to be at his best hitting passing shots, Cliff. He likes that target.
He passes well, I agree. Still not a lot of firepower, but he's got a lot of control.
Exactly. He moves so well. Obviously, movement a big strength in his game. Of course, that first serve of Sampras just keeps beating you down during the match, and he uses such great variety. You have no idea where it's coming half the time. That backhand sailed on him.
55 titles in all for Sampras this year. 3 Philadelphia to Karienquist in the final, Jason Stoltenberg in Atlanta, and Ivan Izevich in Wimbledon. Of course, the big number for Sampras is that he has won 11 Grand Slam titles in singles, 125-mile-an-hour ace.
Looking to tie the great Australian Roy Emerson if he could win the U.S. Open. 12 titles.
Sampras holds on. He is not having much trouble after the first game. He's won 4 in a row. It's 4 games to 1 now. Pete Sampras, the top seed here at the Pilot Pen. We're live in New Haven. And Sampras with a break in the first set against Leighton Hewitt. Caught 2. David Sanguinetti of Italy took out Fabrice Santoro. Santoro's been a little injured. He seemed to be okay today physically, but Sanguinetti took him out. Coach, you watched some of this.
Sanguinetti was up 6-1, 4-0, Cliff, and he let that second set really slide away.
Now, why were you watching that match?
Well, he's probably going to be one of our Davis Cup opponents in the semifinals when we play Italy. So I bought some popcorn and sat there and watched the match.
What did you think?
I think he's a talented guy, very talented, very emotional.
Think the U.S. is going to beat Italy in the semifinal?
I think we will.
What do I expect you to say?
Absolutely.
Love 15.
Hewitt hasn't been ahead on his home serve yet in this match.
Give us an update while we're on the subject of Davis Cup as to who you think your team is going to be at this stage, please, Captain Galaxy.
Well, right now, Todd Martin's committed, and he's ready to go. Courier at the present time is a bit injured. He's got a little bit of a dead arm problem. Certainly all the young Americans, Gamble and Gimelstock and Spadia are ready to go. So we're going to field a very, very strong team.
15-30.
That's the short ball that usually gets Sampras in trouble right there. Hewitt missing that easy forehand to go down 15-40. Notice how it landed right on about the service line here. He hits it short, too much spin. Still another break point here for Sampras. Now Hewitt is a frequent practice partner of Patrick Rafter's. I wonder if Rafter gave him some tips today, Cliff, on how to beat Sampras.
Hesitation from Sampras on that line call. Deuce.
Here's Sampras looking at this Nice deep volley. Thought it might have missed, but just caught the back of the line. Checking it out here.
Years and 6 months old, Leighton Hewitt of Australia became a star playing his second career tour event when he won Adelaide. That's where he lives. Took out Draper, Woodford, Spady, and Agassi, and then Stoltenberg in the final. Agassi, he had a picture. I'm not sure if he still has, but he had a picture of Agassi in his bedroom, you know, one of those posters. Double fault, and it is deuce. It is breezy out there today.
Yeah, the conditions are tough, and usually in these stadium courts, the wind tends to swirl around a little bit. You can't really get a good feel for the direction. There's the favorite shot, the running forehand. Hewitt gave him a little opportunity here. Here's the high volley. He should have put that away. He doesn't, and he pays for it. Here's Pete running. Look at that balance on the run. Beautiful shot.
Deuce.
Oh, that was a fat pitch right there. He had the one he wanted. Just caught the tape.
After Hewitt won that tournament in Adelaide, he beat Bjorkman, who was number 4 at the time, first round in Sydney.
Backhand down the line.
Another break for Sampras, break point rather for Sampras.
And Hewitt, here's this backhand down the line. Sampras preparing early, goes for it, hits the line. Look at that racket preparation. Hits straight through the ball, flat ball. Hewitt's probably wondering where on the court he can put the ball where Sampras can't do some damage. Another deep forehand gives Sampras the break.
Gets the insurance break. 5-1 now. Practice court A, and the familiar face of Patrick Rafter of Australia. Of course, this is the man that Leighton Hewitt looks to now. In fact, they had dinner after that big win in Adelaide, and you'll see Patrick Rafter tonight at 12:30 a.m. as he continues his streak, or does he? Patrick Rafter takes on Jeff Tarango of the USA.
Yeah, Rafter was ranked about 20th in this year's points, Cliff, until the last couple of weeks, where these 2 wins have vaulted him to number 5 in this year's ranking points.
He's 2 points away from the set now. Sampras leads 5-1. It's 30 love.
I guess the lesson for young Hewitt right here is don't make Sampras angry. Don't break him in the first game of the match. He's going for game number 6 in a row here.
But Hewitt and Rafter sat down after that. They had a little dinner, and Rafter was explaining to him about fame, because he knows all about fame, and Hewitt was very famous when we got down to Australia talking about fame. This is set point.
Yeah, with fame sometimes people lose focus once in a while, and I think that's what's happened to their fellow countryman Mark Philippoussis about early fame.
Talk about that when we get back. It is Pete Sampras easily winning 6 in a row against Leighton Hewitt. We're live here at the Pilot Pen, and this is an event for all kinds of fans of all kinds of ages. Taking off some of the covers in the upper stands there. There's a good crowd here today, and this is only day 3 of the Pilot Pen International. This tournament now being run by the great Mr. Butch Buchholz, who also runs the Lipton Championship. There are your stats for the first set.
Well, look at that winner to air ratio there. Hewitt's got twice as many unforced errors as he has winners, and Sampras 15 winners and only 9 unforced errors. He's really getting into it here in New Haven. And that's a more positive start for young Hewitt. He's trying to be a little more aggressive and take it to Sampras rather than just staying back and kind of becoming a punching bag for Sampras's punishing ground strokes. Look at this profile on the serve here. Even though he got in 61% of his first serves, he only won 36% of the points. So as you can see, it's not that effective. Dropped slightly on the second serve, only winning 1 out of 3.
Hewitt beat Sargisian in the first round, and I watched some of that match, and you know, he just got the ball in play, and Sargisian didn't really make him pay for what I thought was a relatively meager serve. I mean, he doesn't get it up there. It was a 79-mile-an-hour serve, the last one. Well, Sampras going to eat that for lunch.
Yeah, he's up here with the big dogs now, Cliff. He's got to beef that serve up a little bit.
He's got plenty of time. He's just 17 years old. 30 all. Sampras has a break. First game, second set. After the first game of the match where Hewitt beat Sampras, he has not won a game. 6-1 and break point. Straight games for the world's number 2. I can't say that world's number 2. I mean, let's wait till the end of the year.
Exactly.
He's been number 1 for 5 years. I get stuck on that one. Anyway, he's very much in control here. You're watching live coverage of the Pilot Pen International. We've got a very nice crowd here on day 3 in center court. Marcelo Rios on the road to Hanover. That's this year's points on the road to Hanover. Rios is in front. He has won 3 Mercedes Super 9s. Pete Sampras is behind him. Carlos Moya won the French Championships. Agassi's won 4 tournaments now. Rafter, look at them. Nice field. After coming off 2 Super 9 wins in a row. And a quick reminder, Rafter tonight, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 out west. Taking on Jeff Tarango.
The last time they played, they battled it out for 5 sets at the Australian Open. Tarango just narrowly losing that match to Rafter.
You've been watching those Pilot Pen commercials. You might recognize this man, Mr. Ron Shaw. He's the other major sponsor up here. He's a big tennis fan. He's been involved in tennis for a long time.
I wonder what kind of pen he's got in his pocket. Cliff, what do you think?
I don't know, but I'll make sure to wear my Pilot around it.
Hewitt would probably love to have a conversation with his coach right now, old Bob Nailbags Carmichael. I'm sure Nails would have a few words of advice for him. He's been working with Nails for 3 weeks and work with him through the U.S. Open kind of on a trial basis. So I'm sure Bob Carmichael can impart some wisdom.
Pete Sampras is very much in control here. He won the first set 6-1. It's 2 games to love in the second. Golf coverage.
Another forehand winner off the Sampras return. Off of a 92-mile-an-hour first serve of Hewitt. Hewitt, I'm sure, Cliff, after losing 8 games in a row, he just wants to get on the board here. He just wants to see a 1 by his name.
One of the great characters in the sport. This man is, explain why you call him Nails. Do you know why I call him Nails?
Well, he was a carpenter before he actually went on the tour. And he's a very rough old guy, but he's a terrific guy.
Enough of the old, he says. Hewitt, meanwhile, from Australia, his man is on the board now in the second. 2-1. Sampras leads. He's got the break. He won the first easily. Pete Sampras, the top seed at the Pilot Pen. We're live. Sampras Empire will return, ESPN. Well, I guess he's got 1 step to take, and then he will be again number 1. Sampras very much in control of this match at 1 set and a break. The other guys in the top 10 for the first time in a long time. Tim Henman watching Pete Sampras. They're good friends. They practice a lot as well. He plays about everything that's around.
Yeah, Tim's a real gamer. He likes to get out there and play. I remember seeing him
play pool and
hit at Queens when he was 14 years old. He was out there all day long, every day practicing.
He's from England. He's in the top 10, and he was a semi-finalist at Wimbledon. And to me, he's one of the potentially really charismatic players on the tour. I hope he does well. Continues to do well. Love 15. 2-1. That one sails, and it's love 30 suddenly.
Here's Sampras, maybe 13-2 since Wimbledon, losing to Agassi and Rafter in Toronto and Cincinnati, respectively.
Chance for Hewitt.
Gets a nice shoulder turn, accelerates that racket head through the ball.
Who's the best bowler in tennis these days, Tom?
I think Pete is certainly one of them. Rafter is a very good bowler, and he really relies on bowling even more than Sampras. But anybody who wins Wimbledon 5 times obviously can volley.
Pete Sampras broke a string. He's going to have a second serve now after a slight delay.
Yeah, I was talking to Pete's stringer, Nate Ferguson, today at lunch, and he uses 18 gauge, which is the thinnest gauge of gut Babolat makes, especially for Sampras.
Hewitt here has got break points. Just a quick note. You saw on a graphic there, he's the 3rd youngest player to win an ATP Tour title. Krickstein won in '83 in Tel Aviv when he was 16 years and 2 months. And Chang in '88 won San Francisco when he was 16 years and 7 months old. But he's broken back, the young Australian, and it is 2 games all in the second. Look for all the world like he was really going to be in serious trouble here, and it would be the shortest match in a long time, but he has come back in the second, 2-all.
Yeah, I think Pete may have had a little lapse there, but certainly Hewitt hit some great passing shots, and that's where he seems to be at his best. When he has a target, he really zones in and gets some good control on those passing shots. A great topspin lob over the backhand of Sampras, sets up the easy forehand. But isn't good quite enough on this volley. Watch the topspin lob over the backhand side. Good athletic move by Sampras just to get it back. And there he plays behind him.
Hewitt. I was going to ask you a couple of games ago, Tom, what Hewitt can take away from this match in terms of a lesson, but this might be a little premature. It might be Sampras who takes something away.
Well, he's getting back into it here, Cliff. I think Pete did have a little lapse, but he's being more aggressive, taking the ball a little earlier rather than staying too far behind the baseline. If you're going to go down, you might as well go down swinging.
That's a swing.
Speaking of swinging, look what's happening to an 81-mile-an-hour second serve on the ATP Tour. Nice balanced hop, good racket preparation. Watch that acceleration through the ball. He's got great balance, Pete Sampras, when he hits the ball. That play quite a bit, running around the backhand to hit the forehand, and he hasn't had a lot of success with it. The forehand is obviously his bigger shot.
You know, when I asked you earlier if he has a weakness, the only sort of vulnerable thing that I think is if you get it up high on Sampras and he's got the wristy backhand, that, as you said, he hits short sometimes. That's about it.
I know in Davis Cup, I encourage him sometimes to hit that nice firm slice return on those higher backhands. Start the point, good nice deep slice return.
That's wide, and Hewitt holds on, so it's 3-2. The young Australian, 17 years old, is in front of the second set. He lost the first 6-1. Some houses along Long Island Sound. Looks inviting, doesn't it? Pretty part of the world. Hewitt beat Sampras to serve. We're on serve now. They've traded breaks in the second. Sampras easily won the first. Over on court number 3, we have a result from you. Kuchera. Carol Kuchera, the number 7 seed. You see him there. He took out Hernan Gumi, the Argentinian. Kuchera took out Sampras, the Australian. Played well today, 3-3 over Gumi. Now he takes on Jan Simmerink, who was a finalist here a couple of years ago in the final, losing to Alex O'Brien.
Good lefty, serve and volley specialist.
Just mention one more time, Patrick Rafter, Jeff Tarango tonight, ESPN2 coverage. Rafter, can he continue? Jeff Tarango is a good test. Good hardcore player. USA.
Yeah, I talked to Jeff yesterday a little bit, and he said they played 3 times. He's won once, and Rafter's run twice, including that 5-set battle at the Australian Open that Rafter finally won. Sampras reestablishing himself on his serve here. Nail bags looks by, I would say, impassively there.
His name is Bob Carmichael, by the way. Have we ever said that? Everybody just calls him Nail. His name is Bob Carmichael. He is from Melbourne, and he was an outstanding player himself, and now he's a coach to Leighton Hewitt and also to Leander Paes, the Indian.
A little bit careless on that volley. Sampras took his eye off it. Here it is. The ball's floating up in the air. He's closing on it and just kind of folds the racket down into the net. He's really done some good damage off the backhand return Hewitt has in this match so far. It's one thing about not closing out those easy game points. Gets you in trouble. Look at Hewitt pounding his racket on the ground. It's hard to play from about 20 feet behind the baseline. Good moving by Sampras there. The wind was blowing that ball all over the place. Made the good adjustment.
Earlier today here, center court, as it's 3 games all here. Todd Woodbridge, who actually played well in the past here, was no match for Yevgeny Kafelnikov, the Russian. Kafelnikov winning love and 2. So Kafelnikov, the number 5 seed, now takes on Gustavo Kuerten, who took out Alex O'Brien earlier today. It's 3 games all, second set.
Great counter punching from Hewitt there, running all over the court, showing some tremendous athletic ability. Look at him scrambling here. He gets over to that backhand and gets it down low, and Sampras just can't dig that low volley up.
Dirty love. Hewitt this morning after the courts, and I said, well, now what would you like me to tell our viewers? And he said, I can't think of anything. I said, anything you like.
Well, I know he had a big plate of pasta about 12:30. He must just start to kick in right now, Cliff. I was a little surprised. He was eating so much right before his match.
Actually, here's how it happened. Tom Gullickson comes up to the booth and he says, have you ever seen anybody eat a meal, quick meal, half an hour before his match? He made 3-all, and he's got a game point here for 4-3 in the second. But Sampras just destroyed Rafter in the first set, the final, Cincinnati. And Rafter came back.
Maybe that's what Rafter told him, Cliff, to lose the first set 6-1.
Lleyton Hewitt on the run. He is from Australia, and one thing about him, he's very quick about the court. He leads 4-3 now. He lost the first set. Was trailing Lleyton Hewitt of Australia. He had a set and a break, and Hewitt has come back. He leads 4-3. Sampras to serve. We are has never played here in New Haven. He was up in when it was up in Stratton Mountain. He played this tournament. So there's some unlikely winners actually. Derek Rostagno in 90. Lleyton Hewitt was an unlikely winner at Adelaide this year, but he has an ATP Tour event to his list of accomplishments.
He was ranked 550 in the world when he won that tournament. Lowest ranked player ever to win a title. Normally players ranked 550 are playing in future events or satellite events.
.117-mile-an-hour wide serve.
And Sampras' speed doesn't really tell the whole story. He's got disguise, he's got placement, he's got variety. And he's got good judgment when he lets a high ball like that go as well.
Your brother Tim was his coach before Paul Annacone. Did you guys used to talk about him a lot?
Yeah, we did. You know, Tim and I had a lot of discussions on Pete's game and how he could improve it. And certainly, I think Tim was very influential in helping him become #1 and learning how to play against lefties and learning how to play on grass and a few other things.
Made that game look easy, and it is 4 games all in the second set now. Sampras easily won the first, but he's having a lot more trouble here in the second.
Well, Sampras has got a lot of gears. You know, most players have to kind of play as well as they can for as long as they can. He kind of goes in cruise control once in a while, and I think he's shifting gears right here, Cliff. I can feel it. I'm sure he doesn't want to stay out here for 3 sets, so I'm thinking he's want to close this one out.
Had a couple of very, very tough results here lately. Hewitt, let's go back a little bit, step back to Wimbledon. He feels his foot's not too good. He has a plantar's wart taken out of it after Wimbledon. Out for a couple of weeks, supposed to play LA, doesn't play LA. Plays instead in Canada, loses to Agassi, quarterfinals. Runs out of steam because there was a 1-day delay. Had to play 2 matches in 1 day. Then loses to Rafty in the final last week. Is this overall good preparation for the U.S. Open for Sampras?
Yeah, it certainly is good preparation. I think right now he's just playing a little too loose, giving away a little too much in the way of free points, but I'm sure he'll be tightening up his game every match here.
Game point Hewitt.
And when you've played so many big finals like Sampras has and in so many big venues, I mean, going out for a first, second round match sometimes is got to be difficult to get yourself always juiced up to play.
Hewitt is serving into the sun there. Lost the last 2 points. Still game point for Hewitt. He had 40-love in this game. Sampras has to serve from that position in the next game. Not the friendly side. No, that one goes wide. A little sluggish, Pete Sampras, and he will serve now, trailing 4-5 into the sun. He won the first set easily, 6 games to 1. Second round, men's singles, live coverage of the Pilot 10. We're in New Haven, everyone. For Sampras, won the first set 6-1 on the grandstand court. Goran Ivanisevic against the wild card Jeff Grant of the USA. Jeff has got a wild card also into the U.S. Open. That's going to make him very happy. He's not happy about the score at the moment, though. Ivanisevic 4-1 in the third. Ivanisevic. What? From Croatia is the number 8 seed.
The Croatian sensation, as they like to call him.
He is one of sports characters also.
He's very quotable. After Wimbledon final, he said he wanted to kill himself. Made some great quotes throughout his career. Out in Palm Springs, I guess there's a few older people out in Palm Springs, and he said he was afraid to go to dinner out there because he thought one of them would die of a heart attack while he was having dinner.
That's good, and if there's 15 left to Sampras, you heard the story from Canada, didn't you? When he and Philippoussis were playing doubles, they headbutted each other, both going for a ball. As you watch this replay here, he had not Philippoussis had to have, no, it was Ivanisevic had to have stitches. Had to pull out.
Oh, look at that touch.
30-love Sampras.
Good backhand down the line from Hewitt.
Anyway, his quote was, well, I'm going to play with somebody shorter next time.
Yeah. Watch this feel. He gets a little outside edge, softens up the hands a little bit. Don't try that at home, folks.
30-love. No trouble serving there, and it is 5 games all.
Actually, only 40-love, Cliff.
Excuse me, 40-love.
Getting a little ahead of himself. I would bet even money that he's going to hold here, though.
You mean, okay. Can I say it now?
You can.
5 games in the second. Father Glenn, this is Hewitt I'm talking about, was a great football player. That's Australian rules, and so was his uncle.
Yeah, as the Aussies like to say, that's real football. They don't even use pads. These big American guys have all these pads on and helmets and everything. They're not real men.
They don't get it, though.
Yes, I would never call Reggie White or somebody like that.
Not if he was anywhere near you. Double fault at 5 all love 15 now. About the court. Uneasy for Sampras to hit winners against him because he scurries it. Not quite Chang-like, I don't suppose, but not far from it.
Yeah, very good move.
15 all.
Baseline.
30-15.
Umpire confirmed it, though. Got to hand it to Hewitt. You know, he lost 8 games in a row from 1 love up to 6-1, 2 love down, and he didn't panic. He kept his composure, which are 2 things all you young players need to remember when you're losing a match. And here he is, right in the thick of it in the second set.
Getting point to go up 6-5. So 6-5 it is. They'll change hands. Sampras will serve to try to get into a tiebreak at the second set. Young Leighton Hewitt, just 17-year-old Australian winner at Adelaide, is showing Pete Sampras what he's made of here in the second. Glenn and Sherilyn are Leighton Hewitt's parents, and they said when he was born that they wanted another Welsh name in the family. So it's Leighton Hewitt. Let's take a look at the statistics of young Leighton here.
Well, certainly Hewitt has picked up his winners a little bit, and he's kept his airs down. And he's much more effective, actually, on his first serve. He's won a very high percentage of first serve points this set. That's why he's in position here to take it to a tiebreak or possibly break to win the set. Yeah, he's won 92% of his first serve points this set.
first set he was like 40% or something.
Yeah, first set he was like 39%. Sampras is only winning 79% of his first serve points, which is low for him.
Little high with that ace, and it's 30 low. Well, that is a great shot. You know, Bjorkman lost to him, as I mentioned earlier this year in Australia. And after the match, he said he plays the big points very well, and that's why he's doing so well for the moment. These are big points coming up here. This is Sampras to get into a tiebreak. So that's where we're at. First to 7 with a 2-point lead wins the tiebreak, and Sampras can win the set along with it. Hewitt's trying to get to a third.
Look at Sampras, a very impressive 20-6 this year in tiebreakers. Hewitt played a few less at 5-3. Goes for his winning forehand there, Sampras, and just misses the baseline. Here it is, sets it up by opening up to the forehand here, and then he pulls it down the line and just long.
It is so tough to pick Sampras' serve. It's an interesting exercise to try to guess as he's throwing the ball up which way he's going to go.
Well, his coach, when he was younger, used to toss the ball up, and right in the middle of the air, the coach would say either to the forehand or backhand. So you have to toss the ball the same every time and hit different serves. Beautiful forehand approach shot, taking that ball on the rise. Here's Pete moving in on that forehand. Watch how he takes it on the rise. He's moving in for the volley, but he doesn't need it.
Serve. Only 106 miles an hour, but well placed, and it is 2-2 in the tiebreak.
That 104-mile-an-hour serve jammed Sampras into the body. Didn't get out of the way.
Second serve at 2-3 in the tiebreak. Put himself in a position having to hit a great shot, and he did. 3-all.
A beautiful return by Hewitt. Here he is coming in on the second serve. Good return by Hewitt right at the toes, and look how he just carves underneath that one, softens those hands. Here Sampras coming in, nice split step. Look at how soft his hands are there. Beautiful drop backhand volley. Now he's serving from the more difficult side. But you would never know it by that 120-mile-an-hour ace down the middle. Sampras up 4-3. a big miss by the young Australian there. Forehand into the net. Sampras has got the match on his racket now with 2 good serves. He could close it out.
5-4. Beautiful. Low volley. Just inside the line. Down the line. Match points for Sampras.
For those people wondering how you win 5 Wimbledons, here's how you do it right here with backhand volleys like that one on the full stretch. Was able to control it and place it right in the corner. He almost got that one up to the boot clip.
Good effort from Pete Sampras, but I would say that you must have been pretty impressed with Leighton Hewitt. You've seen a lot of juniors play, Captain.
Oh, what a great junior player for 17. We'd take 10 of those in the United States any day. To hold his composure as he's getting blitzed 6-1, 2-0, and to come back and take it to a tiebreaker in the second set. Fantastic effort by the young Australian, Leighton Hewitt. You'll see a lot more tennis from him in the upcoming years, Cliff.
Up next on center court, Peter Korda taking on Andre Medvedev. Just so you, and we'll show you some bonus coverage of that match through to the top of the hour. Just so you know, it is Sergi Bruguera or Leander Paes for Pete Sampras next. Sergi Bruguera took out our own Patrick McEnroe in the first round last night. So Pete Sampras, the top seed, will take on Sergi Bruguera or Leander Paes, the Indian, in the